Hello, friends. Have you ever made a deal with the devil? Sometimes they're not obvious and they can often be hard to turn down. Let's look at Luke 4:5, where the devil came to Jesus and said the devil led him to a high place and showed him, Jesus, and in an instant, all the kingdoms of the world and said, I will give you all their authority and splendor, that it has been given to me, and I can give it to anyone I want to if you worship me, and it will all be yours. Have you ever thought about the fact that the devil makes good on some of his promises? Sure, he's a liar and a deceiver, and he cheats you. But sometimes he actually delivers on a promise. Well, sorta. In this verse, he tempted Jesus by offering him all the kingdoms of the earth without the suffering. That's right, all the kingdoms of the world, but no flogging, no crown of thorns, no crucifixion, but best of all, not having to absorb all the sin and sickness of all the world at all time into his body and take it to the pit of hell. Such a deal, right? Well, not so fast. We would not have the promise of healing nor salvation. The purpose Jesus took on the flesh for and became a man, that he should die. While in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus went aside to pray in preparation for facing his suffering, and he prays, Now my soul is troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, it was for this very reason that I came to this hour. But there's another, less obvious factor that made the devil's deal unattractive. Jesus was fully God, but he was also fully man. As long as he maintained his sinlessness nature, he could maintain that miraculous balance. That the moment he sinned, however, his godly perfection would have been given up. Like Adam, something horrendous would have happened. This fully God, fully man being would have become a sinful man. For he himself said, if you're guilty of one small part of the law, you're guilty of the whole thing. Jesus came to earth to establish his kingdom, and the devil was ready to give him all the kingdoms of the earth without the suffering, but he would die like a man. And when he did, he would have gone to hell like a man for all eternity. No rising after 3 days. Yes, sometimes the devil delivers on a promise in some respects. That's why you see evil people sometimes prospering while good and faithful servants of the Lord suffer. It doesn't seem fair looking at it through carnal eyes, but looking at it through spiritual eyes, we see something very different. I remember once when I had been out of work for 9 months and desperately needing a job. I had an interview for an amazing position in Atlanta. After 2 days of interviews with all the top brass of the company and things going swimmingly, I was before the CEO. That was going very well until he pointed at my resume at the spot that said Masters of Divinity at Oral Roberts University. And he looked me in the eye and asked me, you don't take that stuff seriously, do you? I knew the devil's deal was right there before me. Everything hinged upon what I said at that point. The flight home was dark, but I had not taken the devil's deal and looked for the Lord's promises instead. I never did reach the level of executive prestige or salary offered by that position, but the Lord came through for us and was faithful to meet our every need. What's more important is what I didn't give up. When I look at the wonderful kids I have and their wonderful families, and I understand that the Lord's promises are eternal, the devil's deals are for here and now and are fleshly. God's promises are eternal. Once evil men who prosper die, they go to hell. But faithful servants of the Lord goes to his eternal reward. Don't succor for the devil's deal. Be like Jesus and take eternity.